Welcome back, mathematicians. Today we're looking at multiplying and dividing integers. First we will look at multiplication. A positive integer multiplied by a positive integer will give you a positive answer. Positive multiplied by a positive, so my answer will be positive. 4 3s are 12, or just 12. A positive integer multiplied by a negative integer will give us a negative result. So when I multiply a positive multiplied by a negative, my answer will be negative, and 4 3s are 12. A negative integer multiplied by a positive integer will result in a negative integer as the answer. The multiplication of a negative multiplied by a positive, my answer will be negative. 4 3s are 12. A negative integer multiplied by a negative integer will result in a positive result. So a negative multiplied by a negative will be positive, and that is 12. So from this you can see when my signs are the same, my answer is positive. When my signs are the same, my answer is positive. When my signs are different, a negative multiplied by a positive, my answer is negative. Negative multiplied by positive, the result is negative. Let's see what happens when we divide integers. A positive integer divided by a positive integer will result in a positive quotient. Positive divided by positive, my quotient will be positive 4 over 3. Oh, whoops. Let's look at division of integers. Well, when we have a positive integer divided by a positive integer, the result is going to be positive. So if I have 10 divided by 5, it is going to be 2. If I have a positive integer divided by a negative integer, my result is going to be negative. Positive divided by a negative will be negative. 10 divided by 5 is 2. A negative integer divided by a positive integer will end in a negative result. So negative 10 divided by positive 5 will give me negative 2. A negative integer divided by a negative integer will result in a positive quotient. So negative 10 divided by negative 5 will give me positive 2, or just 2. Once again, we have a look and see what happens. When my signs are the same, my answer is positive. When my signs are the same, my answer is positive. When my signs are different, a positive divided by a negative, my result is negative. A negative divided by a positive, my result is negative. To summarize, just as we've seen on the previous page, when the signs are the same, the product or the quotient is positive. So a positive multiplied by a positive, the result will be positive, or a positive divided by a positive, the answer is positive. To summarize, when the signs are the same, the product when I multiply or the quotient when I divide is positive. So a positive multiplied by a positive will result in a positive. A positive divided by a positive will be positive. A negative multiplied by a negative will give you a positive, and a negative divided by a negative will give you a positive. When the signs are different, the product, when I multiply, will be negative, or the quotient, when I divide, will be negative. So a positive multiplied by a negative will give a negative result. A positive divided by a negative will give a negative result. A negative multiplied by a positive will give us a negative product. A negative divided by a positive will give us a negative quotient. Let's look at the worked examples to see what we mean. Right, 6 multiplied by negative 4 is negative 24. So the first thing we're going to do is deal with the sign. So all I'm doing is I'm looking at a positive multiplied by a negative. So my signs are different and my result will be negative. And then I look at the numbers. 6 times 4 is 24. So the answer is negative 24. Let's look and see what happens when we divide. Once again, we first deal with the signs. So I have a negative divided by a positive. 7 is positive 7. So my signs are different. My answer is negative. So my answer will be negative. And then I say 28 divided by 7 equals 4. So the result is negative 4. Let's have a look at example number 3. Now we have many different operations, so we've got to remember BODMAS. I first have to do the brackets, but in this case the bracket is just showing us that it's a negative 8. So we've got to subtract negative 8. And remember what we said, we can't have two signs following each other. When my signs are the same, a negative multiplied by a negative is positive. So 10 minus 5 plus 8 multiplied by 2 divided by 4. I continue using BODMAS, so I've got to do multiplication and division in order of appearance. So here I have multiplication. What is being multiplied together? Well, 8 multiplied by 2, and then I'm going to divide by 4. So we do this as follows. 10 minus 5 plus 8 multiplied by 2 is 16 divided by 4. I continue using the rules of BODMAS. I've got to do division before addition or subtraction. So this is how I continue. 10 minus 5, 16 divided by 4. And once again, remember, we've got a positive divided by a positive. So it is positive 16 divided by 4 is 4. Now I do addition and subtraction in order of appearance. So I'm going to say 10 minus 5 is 5 plus 4. My result is 9. Now you need to test your understanding with multiplication and division of integers. So please do the little exercise on test your understanding. That's all for today. Thank you.